Welcome to the Low Budget LCS podcast, where empty pockets have never held us back. It does take two to tango, keep it on.
This podcast is sponsored by tennis. Remember, we're not a real sport. We're tennis.
Welcome to the Low Budget LCS podcast, where empty pockets have never held us back. It does take two to tango, keep it on.
This podcast is sponsored by tennis. Remember, we're not a real sport. We're tennis.
Welcome to the Low Budget LCS podcast, where empty pockets have never held us back. It does take two to tango, keep it on.
This podcast is sponsored by tennis. Remember, we're not a real sport. We're tennis.
Welcome to the Low Budget LCS podcast, where empty pockets have never held us back. It does take two to tango, keep it on.
This podcast is sponsored by tennis. Remember, we're not a real sport. We're tennis.
Budget LCS podcast, where empty pockets have never held us back. It does take two to tango, keep it on.
This podcast is sponsored by tennis. Remember, we're not a real sport. We're tennis.
Welcome to the Low Budget LCS podcast, where empty pockets have never held us back. It does take two to tango, keep it on.
This podcast is sponsored by tennis. Remember, we're not a real sport. We're tennis.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Low Budget LCS. My name is Papa Boa, and I'm joined today by the Count's best friend.
Yeah, but not yours.
No, see, my best friend is actually a monk who lives.
Monk?
Yeah.
Like-
I've seen him. I've met him once.
Monastery monk?
Yeah.
Your pen pals or something? You write each other?
No, it's more like cryptic messages communicated through. You know how Google goes around with the car, right?
Okay, yeah.
We just like have to check certain areas for
Podcast is sponsored by
coded
Oh, I
messages.
love that.
Yeah.
I love that. It's like a GeoGuessr, like scavenger hunt.
Yeah.
That's a cool idea, actually. Holy shit. That should just be like a thing, no?
I mean, it would be great. They only update the photos every like it's like a couple of years, so like, we don't get to
Yes.
talk much.
What instantly popped into my head here was those wiki like A to B races,
Mm-hmm.
where you start on some wiki and you have to use the links in the Wikipedia pages to get to the next to the end goal, right? But you would do that with like GeoGuessr stuff. I guess there's no links though, so you'd have to just find things as a scavenger hunt,
That would be very interesting. Yeah. All right.
Is this spec? This is spec.
We've got a draft link. I love a good draft link.
I'm always apprehensive when people post the actual like picking link in the chat. It's like you shouldn't do that,
I mean, it's fine, right?
Yeah, I tend to send that in a DM. It's like
You've never clicked the wrong button for anything.
no, definitely not.
Could not be you.
I love this as well. The mad scramble to get in proper order before the draft starts.
Yeah. Okay,
It's
there we
good.
go. Well,
Are they
happy
rolling on
Tuesday. No. I just got everything set up on my end. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Hope y'all are doing A-okay. Hope everyone had a good Tuesday. Especially you, Sammy. The Count will not be excised today, all right? He's staying in. We might do a special broadcast if we decide to get the surgery.
Listen, I'm gonna need if the count is being transferred to another body, I'm gonna need it to be, a more count-like appearance, you know?
Yeah.
'Cause you just don't strike me as like the, you know.
Oh, hang on. We've got breaking news hot off the presses from the undercover agent Lil Robot Man, giving us a critical dossier that says LeChance licks toes.
That's big news. I mean,
Yeah.
I was suspicious for a long time, almost certain.
I mean,
But now we know.
the
Now we know for
photos, the documentation, the signed affidavits, the written confessions, they're all useful. But do we truly know something if Little Robot Man didn't say it? I don't think so.
I'm not convinced that, I mean, maybe at some point in my life, right? Like I may have actually seen LeChance licking toes and just not known it. You know what I mean? Also, there's a
True.
new link on the
Yes.
yeah. It's like Bigfoot, you know?
Mm-hmm. Oh,
They're
yeah.
asking us stuff.
Oh? I don't know.
I-
anything.
We don't need to say yes on you guys
Yeah,
draft. You just go.
If pro tip, if you're ever being casted in the low budget LCS and you are wondering if the casters are ready, the casters are ready. We're always ready. Just send it.
And if we're not, it's probably Buggle's fault. Like,
Yeah.
But,
it is Buggle's fault. If Buggle isn't there, it's still Buggle's fault.
yeah. I mean, I would say it never hurts to ask, but if you're concerned about it, you can ask. If you're not, you don't have to. Most of the time we're ready.
Hmm.
LeBlanc ban already. That's an interesting one because it's definitely like a really prio pick for like, oh, a team has a good LeBlanc player that's gonna pressure a lane really hard,
Right.
But it's not always a ban. It's not like a S tier champion that's like constantly being picked up,
Yeah, it is quite interesting. But target bans are always good. Comfort is always strong.
What is like the most banned thing? I think it's like Annie and like Ash and stuff right now.
Yeah, Annie is pretty high on the priority these days, must say.
I'm gonna go ahead and call this a Mumu ban a support ban. I'm pretty sure. I know one thing about this team, and it's that Big Beast likes to play engage supports. And Amumu is actually like my absolute favorite engage support. So I think that's going to be a support ban. I'm not sure. Could be totally wrong. Cauliflower, possibly a Mumu player. Samira going to be banned away. Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
Wait. Okay, this is weird because Cloud Turtle plays Shen, but Cloud Turtle's lined up mid. So
Okay.
maybe Jizune also plays the Shen.
I mean, Shen is something that my Clash team will my Clash team is my LBLCS team. But it's something that we'll just ban, if it's we don't know what to ban in Clash, and it's just what's left because it's just so strong.
Yeah, I see that, yeah. It's also like, as somebody who played in the bot lane, Shen's super annoying. I just hate playing against that. Ooh, this is big. Okay. Drox has, I think, only been really excited about the Kai'Sa. Obviously, the classics, the Caitlyn, the Jinx, are still in his wheelhouse, but really, really interested in playing Kai'Sa a lot. And the Nautilus Kai'Sa is a good lane. So a really smart takeaway here, definitely to grab that Kai'Sa up.
Okay.
They do lock it in. Lulu going to be the pairing. That's fine. Generally, you like having a CC support, some engage to allow that Kai'Sa to get in from far away with that ultimate.
For sure.
But Lulu can do it. Also good steroid on the Kai'Sa if you were worried about Kai'Sa getting dove because she's practically melee.
Yes. Always good to have that. Sorry, I'm just trying to get something to work here.
Oh, you're good. You're good. I did see something Sammy said in chat. Mighty, what kind of surgery do you want? I'm assuming that's the surgery for the count, and I'm not going to, I mean, we're friends and all, but not gonna dictate what the Count's life should look like. That's not really my place.
Count thanks you for that.
But yeah, we do have Misfortune and Wukong picked up a really solid combo. You've got the layering of these big ultimates over a team fight, and Misfortune's absolutely another thing that Drox is known for. Also something that I kind of may have told him is a good pick a couple weeks ago. I was like, oh yeah, in LBLCS, if you're ever worried about what to pick as AD, play MF and ult. Yeah.
True enough. I mean, bullet time is great. If I ever get MF on ARAM, I like to just go Axiomark, and then you just get bullet time again. And it's really good when you have that Wukong, you've got that Cyclone for the setup, and they're doing the good old smart LBLCS play and trying to draft
team fight AoE.
Wombo. Yeah, team fight AoE.
Epic.
Wombo.
Big circles. Yep.
Do you have more Bing circles? You win game.
And we do see a Gragas. This is an interesting pick that's kind of in the meta right now. It's pretty much a 3-way flex, right? You can play it top, mid, and jungle. So not really certain where that's going to go.
You can play it
I actually really like it top. Yeah, I mean, they have Lulu already, but yeah, it's true.
Listen, I was playing with one Mr. The player formerly known as Seer yesterday, all right? And he decided he was going to bust out the Lulu mid and solo kill the Azir on repeat. So I'm just
Lulu
saying.
mid's terrifying. Crazy pick. Like, but it's not like an Azir or a Victor or things like that actually have like a lot of teamfight DPS. It's just surprising amounts of burst and insane utility. But every time you pick that sort of thing, you have to have that carry in another place. Maybe a carry jungler, like a Kindred or a Master Yi or something weird,
For sure.
I actually like Jack's jungle a lot, and I think Lulu mid would be like turbo fun with that. Yeah.
I love Jack's jungle. I think Jack's jungle is honestly so underrated. Oh, they heard us. They heard us. They fucking heard us. Hey, you're not supposed to watch the stream if you're playing, okay? I mean, it's kind of fine. We're on a delay. But still.
Yeah. No, I think Jax is also like a really popular meta pick. Malphite is an interesting on the rise pick as well with that on hit build, that Iceborne build. Gonna be Sejuani right here. That's really weird. No, that's a top lane Sejuani.
Yeah, top Sedge works.
Ain't no way Wukong's going there, so that's top Sedge.
We were talking about champions most similar to Gragas, and I think Sejuani was up there in terms of the list. So maybe you can out belly slam the belly slammer.
Yeah, I think she actually has a winning interaction there. I think your Sejuani Q's hitbox is a little better.
Yeah. But regardless, seeing the Orianna being the last pickup here for the Daddy's Darlings, that's going to be... You don't?
Nah, I'm poisoned against... NA has poisoned me against Orianna forever. It's like... I'm watching these LCS Oriannas, and like... They're just painful, man. Oh, Aesol. Okay. They won draft.
Oh, did? Even after the Aesol nerfs?
I mean, like, what's Ori gonna do? Right? Aesol still scales into Oblivion, and so does Jax, and like, what, like, what's Ori gonna do?
Every dragon fight by placing your ults down on top of the whole enemy team.
They can. I mean, they can. I think there's enough early game here, though. Like, I think, well, I don't know. Bot's kind of a skill matchup here. Like, it's gonna be up to who ganks bot first, and maybe like can Gragas get some kills to burst the AD carry as well. But yeah, I don't know. I think if they survive to like 30 minutes, it's pretty good.
Okay, well, I will leave that up as I start the predictions here.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Daddy's Darlings on the blue side.
Daddy's Darlings, and it's confirmed that Big Beast is the daddy of the team, right?
Yes.
That's okay.
Yes, that was confirmed in pregame chat. Pardon me if I'm a little slower with 3 things today. I burned my hand for the second time this week because I'm just that good.
It's a talent. I mean, it's not something that anybody can do.
No, absolutely not.
Did they spell anything with these fans? Nah.
I don't think so. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna grab some water real quick.
Has. We've got Hecarim Amumushen has, and then Victor Casante has nothing. No, that's nothing. That's not even words. Yeah, I was kind of hoping a little bit for that Jax jungle. It is not Jax jungle. It's going to be the Jax top matchup into the Sejuani. I think that early game, that's probably going to favor Sejuani just a little bit. And then Jax is going to scale past that point and be a bit stronger. I think it's going to be important to watch out for Daddy Darling's early game because, like Popobo was saying, they've got some advantages probably around these early Drake fights with all these Wombo ultimates. And a really potent engage, actually. That's one thing we didn't talk about a lot. But I think that the ability to start these fights is well within the hands of Daddy's Darlings. Which, when you can dictate the game like that, it changes the dynamic a whole lot, especially against a scaling team.
Good to know.
Yeah, I mean, you got your Nautilus, you got your Wukong clone, you got your Sejuani going in. It's all on Daddy's Darlings to make the plays and do the moves, and OO just kind of wants to sit back, let ASOL stack up, and try not to fall too far behind.
Yeah, they want to play it chill as they can. And we have a couple good ball deliverers as well for the Orianna, so that, if they find that clumped up multi-man ultimate, maybe I'll be wrong about this Ori pick,
Has BDS played a lot of Orianna? Because if not, that's just awful.
Who?
Team BDS?
Team B, is that like a...
Isn't that an LEC team? Or am I having a...
Oh, I haven't watched a whole lot of LEC this season, so I think it probably is.
Because BDS also stands for Ball Delivery System, right?
Ah, okay, that would make a lot more sense, yeah.
And I think DDS has some great BDS.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I think EU is way more... They're into more meta mid picks like the Sylas. I've seen a lot of Vex again lately, which was kind of weird. The Vex is kind of coming back. Yeah.
Ada Zelius will be happy about that one.
Right, yeah.
Deep cut there for you.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, we are getting into the spectator delay here. Just put those drafts up in the client so we can watch them.
So now we're sure about the Jax and Gragas. Tell me a little bit about Gragas versus Wukong, because I know Wukong's not amazing early ganking. How do you think it's gonna go?
So I'm thinking about Wukong jungle. I'm thinking about Gragas jungle. I've played more Wukong than Gragas lately. Wukong's clear isn't the greatest, but I think it's gonna be better than Gragas's. Gragas's first clear, while healthy, and I could be wrong about this, I'm pretty sure it's not that quick.
I think you're right.
His auto attack is pretty slow. Some of his abilities reduce how much he's autoing, right? I mean, he's got great AoE with all of his abilities, so chickens will be a snap, but something like Gromp is going to take him a while.
Yeah, the single target's going to be harder. Yeah.
Now, that being said, something that you can do when your single target takes you more time is you can just say, okay, I won't take those yet, and you just take mostly AoE camps, and then try to get on the map early to pressure. So I'd expect to see maybe Gragas pressure a little bit before the Wukong, but it will be hard for him to pressure just because his lanes can't offer too much in the way of damage. Jax might be your best bet, or bot lane, but the ASOL is going to be pretty hard to secure some kills with early on, given that champ just really likes to scale. But those are sort of my expectations. But both of these junglers certainly spiking up into the mid game once you have your ultimates for that playmaking, but Jax having the slight edge on pre-6 ganking.
Okay, yeah. I think as far as the lanes, I don't think there's going to be a huge advantage for Orianna, but I'm pretty sure that Sedge is going to be a little bit stronger in the early game, just because of how, kind of insane Sedge actually is in those early levels.
Yeah. That Sedge actually has a ton of setup for Wukong. That's a super viable lane. The thing that's nice about the Wukong here is the Wukong has sort of the opposite of what the Gragas has. The Wukong gets all of the setup. Nautilus and Sejuani are a ton of setup for Wukong, and Orianna, once 6, also has a bunch of setup with the Shockwave.
Yeah. Same with bot lane. Once they're level 6, you've got that Nautilus ultimate to engage. It's a bit slippery against this like Kaisa Lulu. They've got a lot of movement, a lot of Kaisa has the ultimate to get away. I don't know if probably won't need cleanse or anything. They might take it. So I think bot's going to be a little bit harder of an angle.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, certainly the Lulu ultimate, always annoying. You're like, yes, we finally almost killed this 80 carry, and then Lulu ult goes off, and you're like, oh. Alright. Well, okay.
I do think, though, the key to victory here for the side of OO is that they're going to have to like kind of put that pressure. In my mind, it's going to be bottom and try to like have an avenue to contest dragons, you know? Because if you top could be gankable, but if you leave alone that win condition of dragon stacking against the team that pretty much certainly will have winning dragon fights in the early game, you're going to be in trouble, right?
Yeah.
So that's kind of where my mind's at for a place for them to put their marbles. See if we got any Skinnergies here.
Ooh, Orbiana, I have not actually seen
It's
that
pretty good.
often. Now, it is 5 skin versus 4 skins, and 4 skins usually win.
Yeah, but you got to look at skin quality here.
Astro, Nautilus, and Orbiana are very good.
Yeah, I'm into that. I think it's good.
Yeah.
What do we got here? Turn on my stuff.
Jaximus. Space Groove Gragas is something.
It's solid. Yeah, it's solid.
Yeah.
I like it.
I think it has a really thick dumper.
Yep, that's true. It's definitely true. Wobble Wobble is the name. I wonder if that's a Gragas like main or something.
Alright, well, we are at 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22,
Alright, I'm good.
23. Thank you, my friend. I will see you for dinner tonight.
Yes.
The cat is tired of getting sunburns, so you're going to dinner, huh?
Yeah, no, we're going to dinner. I tried to talk him into getting like a parasol, like one of those, like sun umbrella things, like it's like not really his style.
Yeah, it just doesn't vibe. And when they're all black, they emit so much heat. It's just rough.
Mm-hmm. And he didn't want to feel like a brooding trench coat guy all the time either. It's like, I mean, the Count has style. He wants to show it off. We'll go for dinner. It's fine.
Fine.
Nice
it's a little more
restaurant,
serious,
tasty food.
But
I mean, we're just vibing, chilling.
Cool. Well, I do love some of the usernames here. We've got WeFF15Pog.
That's
Wobble
solid.
Wobble. Now, okay, Mighty and I were
That top
having this
laner
conversation
too, I like
before
that.
we went ride a little bit.
Oh, the
Deity of
animal thing?
pandas. Oh, animal
Yeah.
thing is good too. What is a deity of pandas? Is it just like a big sky panda that likes to eat bamboo?
I feel like it's like heaven reimagined as like a bamboo forest,
Yeah.
Like, and that's just the place that all pandas go. Where their panda god is just like, chilling and rolling down some hill.
Yeah, just getting stuck in a tree somewhere.
Yeah, doing panda stuff. You know how it is.
Just pandas. Oh! Breaking news! Pickle Hater 77 has redeemed a hunk alert. Who's the hunk?
Okay. Who's the hunk?
Who's the hunk?
Better not be drugs.
No, but wait, but who's the hunk? No, Drox. Drox can't. Drox, Cloud Turtle. These are two very old names in the low budget LCS. Classics, if you will. The hunk is
The hunk?
Serenity Knights Templar roster. Okay, the hunk is not in this game.
All right, so we don't have to worry about it then.
All right,
That's fine.
cool. I'll remember that for the next time we're casting that roster.
Well, no,
So-
that'll have to be a separate redemption if they want us to mention it on that.
Oh, right, because it's individual cast. Actually, I think the first time we did the hunk stayed consistent. Like, we kept
Until
it
the next
going
redemption.
until the next redemption of the hunk.
That's true, actually.
Yeah.
Is it a rule that the hunk has to be an individual, though?
No, the hunk's been like Scuttle Crab before. So you
yeah,
see
but one of the
Gragas
scuttle
going
crabs.
for this 4-camp
Oh,
into gank,
no,
getting
this
behind. Nautilus is choosing to go in. Tension Fox going incredibly low. Drox shooting out the E. They're gonna manage to find first blood on the Nautilus, though. And now here comes a wobble. But Drox will wobble his way over the wall with that flash. Bony Chris looking to do the damage. E forward, not quite gonna find the belly slam. The barrel will find it.
And in absolutely pure Drox fashion, dying to a gank level 2. That is the most Droxest thing I've ever seen.
Well, I mean, it was looking... That was just very hard. You look for your early aggression. You know, you're playing Misfortune. You found your engage, but, you know, the Nautilus ends up dying because once Nautilus hooks in, he's kind of, you know, just there.
Yeah, that was rough, especially because Bony Christiff did opt for the exhaust, which makes it like really, really hard to straight up win one all in. You know, you kind of want to go in, burn the exhaust, and then go in again later. You know, but the urgency was there. The jungler showed up, and they just had to fight, and eventually died.
Yeah. And good proactivity from Wobble, doing the things that he needs to do to get his team maybe a little bit ahead in this early game, so they can ride out once these champs here hit level 6. God, laners get so much experience so quickly. I hate it.
It's crazy. Yeah, it's absolutely crazy.
I hate solo
If you
laners.
gank, if you just gank as a jungler, like how much XP do you go behind? Especially if your clear is slow. It's so painful, man.
It's awful, man. People just complain about jungler. They never ask how is jungler.
Yeah, we just want to be heard, you know. This is interesting. The Gragas went for the red pet.
I don't think I've
feel
seen
like
anyone
blue
build
is
a red
good.
pet in a long time.
Yeah, I mean I've seen it on like Graves and Yi, I think, but those both could also go like other pets. So
Yeah. Well, it's all green pet except for some people who go blue pet, is what I've seen.
Yep. Yeah.
Even though green
I've seen
pet got
Viegos go
explicitly
blue pet.
nerfed. Yeah, Viegos, Hekarims, Evelyns, stuff that
Yeah.
needs like to have that move speed to get in. Anyone who would take any kind of like move speed runes will like the blue pet there. Jizune just pulling themselves
Jizune.
right outside of that barrel, but it cost them quite a bit of life there.
I think that was pretty brave, honestly, because like you might die to the body slam if you walk into the barrel there. So
You know, this early Gragas jungle damage is higher looking than I remember.
I'm saying, yeah, that was a really solid gank bottom, though. It's kind of exactly what we're talking about in the pregame. You have to try to impact a lane when you have that advantage over Wukong before he hits that level 6. This is smart, though, from Cauliflower going for this Drake. Bot lane's been pushing. They've got the push again. You know where Gragas is, so it's totally safe. You get this early Drake roll on. And this is kind of like what we were saying you have to be careful of against this team with all these big Wombo ultimates for the early fighting, is letting them stack these dragons up.
Yep. They are going to pick that first one up to get themselves marching down the road a minute 26 after it spawned. Lol Cryptic redeemed a caster compliment. Would you like that for yourself or for someone else?
And which caster would you like to give it? You can also, I think it's allowed to ask for it from the count at this point.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, for sure. The count will give compliments. Ooh, we have a 15 going to be going in. We'll get stunned up here.
That
but
might be a
Jizune
kill.
going to be taking a ton of damage. Flash forward,
good
flash away,
flash.
flash forward! Woo!
That was clean.
That
Actually,
was-
really clean.
Yeah. Q auto W, baby. That is all
And,
she wrote.
Big Sheen damage. Got the solo bolo. Oh no.
No, okay, emotes are allowed. If it can be muted by the enemy team without muting all of your sounds, it is allowed. So emotes can be muted and turned off, which means they are allowed.
Yeah. Also, it's fine to ask, preferably before a game. Make sure.
Okay, they're going to look here. Wukong not 6 yet, but is going to go in here. Wobble will get stunned up by that Nautilus passive. Q going forward, now going to be rooted again, but he uses the damage reduction quite nicely. Cauliflower now going to be exhausted, and Big Beast and Drox trying to finish it up, but the retreat, the stalwart, resound focus from Ulu is just going good, but Cauliflower finds it from the bush. They looked like they were retreating, but they were just waiting for the exhaust to go. And now Boney Christoph, they're going to find the return kill onto the monkey, but now Droxer's Big Beast looking to do the damage. Boney Chris going to be forced to run away. Ignite ticking, it's going to find it off of the double tap, and now Tension Fox is looking for the return kill, but Big Beast, 183 will get out of it, and Droxer's will find a double.
Yeah, and for a second I was really worried for Daddy's Darlings because I thought they misread their advantage in the lane. Looks like top lane going to pick up a little bit of a 1v1 action as well.
Yeah, it looks like Jax is just sort of perma-winning the fights, and so he's saying, all right, you have to walk up to this wave, and I will fight you every time you do.
Yeah, that was a little closer than I think Jizune wants, because just one more Q, and I think they were in serious trouble.
Yeah.
Oh.
Such strong, consistent spiking from this Jax with the Sheen. You really want to start. And it's super hard, too, because a lot of times with top laners like this, Cauliflower going to be invisible, though, and he's going to jump in, will be stunned up. And now Cauliflower, able to E forward, has the Cyclone, uses it. Doesn't quite need it, though. Jizune is going to be able to pick that up.
Yeah, I like that just for the safety, because Jizune got a little greedy and went back in, did pick up the kill, but at the risk of their own life.
Yeah. Can you remind me, what is Sejuani W called?
Something flail.
Glacial Flail. Ooh, the skies have descended on mid, but now we're going to be taken to a bot lane fight. Boney Chris able to come in with the W. Lulu self-ulting. Drox looking to do the damage, looking to get it out, but he's going to be polymorphed during the bullet time, and Shutdown goes over to Chris. And now the skies are coming. Aurelion Sol looking to pick up a sneaky steal for themselves, not quite going to be able to get there in time, as Chris manages to find both of those.
I do respect the attempt there. Aesol deserves all the kills. But no, this is huge. Boney Christoph definitely getting off to a rolling start. And unfortunate once again, Drox just gets stuffed. And no chance to finish that ultimate.
Yeah. It's
Rough.
it's a little tough there. The polymorph, I mean, just huge props to Tension Fox, because that polymorph, you could have used it earlier to try to save yourself, but you knew what was coming.
It's Winter's Wrath, by the way, the Sejuani W.
Oh! Alright. Winter's Wrath. Sheesh. See, I thought I knew, I didn't know.
I had no idea.
Okay, one more stun. This could be dangerous for WeF at 15, but they're going to be able to find the auto! Whew! These are shark noodle fights up in the top lane.
I like it when top laners do this. They're like, I got another item, I could try. Tension Fox in some trouble.
Tension
Oh,
Fox
the
taking
Hex
the
Flash
damage.
Bill.
Oh, that's devastating for Big Beast. Boney Chris going to find a ton of damage with the Plasma now. Big Beast looking to get away. Cloud Turtle going to speed him up, but he's going to get slammed into the wall. And the god of pandas shall see him fall.
Yeah, it's a big move there. Unfortunate positioning from Big Beast. Probably Drox told him to go in there.
Everything is Drox's fault, huh?
Yeah. Always has been.
Always will be. Got it. They do look like they are setting up here for this second Drake, though. Ooh, Shockwave going to be used on mid lane, but W's still available for the Aesol. Just going to... You know, the Aesol does look a little silly. Ooh. Glacial Prison going to go wide, but Boney Chris is going to find the passive. It's going to knock him under the turret, and Drox finds it with the bullet time.
That was crazy. That was like the most insane flash of all time, probably.
Ooh, Cloud Turtle, though, now might be in a little trouble. There's 3 people here. Belly Slam gonna land. Explosive Cast gonna find its mark. And wobble, wobble. Cloud Turtle goes back to the Great Seas.
Yeah,
What's a
this is
turtle
one of
doing
those
on the
things-
Rift anyway?
You know, there's like scuttle crabs and stuff. I think a turtle's okay.
That's fair. There's that little turtle duck. Oh.
Yeah.
Actually, I think it's just a duck, but I like to imagine it's a turtle duck. Oh, they're going to get the
Drox
dragon, but
is
Drox
dead.
is going to go incredibly low. Wobble, wobble, though. Now might be in a little trouble. He's going to be stunned up. He's going to be knocked up. But Boney Chris able to get back into the fight. Cauliflower looking to do the damage, but the polymorph is too strong. And now Jizune and Big Beast 183 are forced to run for their lives.
Gragas got the Drake.
Oh!
They win the fight too. That's huge.
That is
Absolutely huge.
Yeah, scaling team. Winning the fights,
Stop
getting
the-
the gold,
yeah.
3k up.
They stopped the stacking. That's huge.
Yeah, 6 stacks on the Dark Seal of Gragas here.
Oh, the Dark Seal tech is dank. I like that.
Now, Okay, how do you play with Darksteel? Because I rarely
Aggressive.
ever upgrade it. Oh, you're like,
Oh.
what? How many stacks do you need to have to get a Medjai's? Like, what's your threshold?
It actually just depends on what champion I'm playing. Like, if I'm playing a champion that I'm very confident I can avoid dying on and still be useful, like maybe Eve or something, and I'm just like picking people on the sides, then I'll do it, you know?
Okay.
But like Gragas, probably no, because I'm going to have to be frontline or engage in some of the fights, and I don't feel like I'm going to be useful and still be able to, like, you know, survive.
Yeah. That's fair. I usually only do it if I'm 10 stacks and I have a stopwatch or a Zhonya's completed.
Yeah, that adds another layer to it, I guess.
Ooh, Cloud Turtle forced to flash away because the skies descend.
That's such a crazy
The
ability.
camera showing us how it hits the entire map all the way from top red buff to bot lane.
That was a cool directed cam moment, actually. Like,
Yeah. You know,
really gave us the full perspective.
I have hated on the directed camera a couple of times in the past, and every time I've been wrong. So,
I don't know. I think there's merits to hating on directed cam at times.
oh, for sure there's merits. I'm just saying every time I've tried to do it,
Oh, it immediately
it
comes
immediately
back at you.
backfired on me, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
I
think
get that.
Asol stole red with his ult. Well, we can see next time. No.
Nah. That would be crazy, though. I don't
Yeah.
think the damage range is that insane, right?
No, but he is hurt and has this rod available. Tension Fox now coming up the lane as well. Deity of Panda is going to go very low. But that is 4 people there. Shockwave almost going to be able to find it, but it won't quite be enough. And the Deity of the Pandas will be hugified to safety.
And this is one of the reasons that I don't like this Ori pick very often, is that the damage is so low outside of the team fights, right? Like,
Yeah.
you really have to get a lot of items, but you're never going to be that guy that's solo killing in lane. You know, you're just trying your best to farm up safe and join the fights where you're really useful.
Oh, okay. Let's see. We have this 15 Pog going in, has the full Sunder completed and those additional resistances from the ultimate. They're just going to be proxying Jizune's wave. Flashes away. Passive is going to be found for Jizune. Glacial Prison, though, not quite available. Winter's Wrath does not land, and we FF15 Pog gets him done.
Yeah, and as soon as it's off turret, it's just Jack's territory right there. Little bit of disrespect probably from Jizune, and I like this, though, from top laners. I think,
Yeah.
you know, you get another item, you got to try. And this is trouble for Big
Beast
Beast.
is going to be in trouble. Ult in from Boney Chris. And lights out
clean-
Clean Diver.
Clean ultimate from Wobble Wobble, good follow-up from Boney Chris, and unfortunate death from Big Beast.
Oh, now Drox might be in
Drox.
trouble. So much damage here for the Gragas. Doesn't have ult available. Kaisa W not quite coming down. Drox looking to do the damage, but one more Q. And Misfortune
He just didn't respect it.
disappears.
He didn't believe it.
Yeah. Cloud Turtle now just going to be able to walk out of that one. But, man, Wobble Wobble is everywhere. And I have to imagine that this is the signature Gragas pick.
Yeah, I mean, Wobble Wobble makes sense for a Gragas, like, one-trick name as well, you know?
Hang on, there's 2 of them
Oh.
here. Shockwave is going to be used. Now Belly Slam is going to find him invisible, but the Cyclone will find it, and Shutdown goes over.
Flash.
However, now Boney Chris available. Deity of Panda is going to be the next one on the chopping block, potentially. Cauliflower looking
More?
to do the damage. Tension Fox available. Cauliflower manages to find it, but here comes the Jackson. Surely Cauliflower will be consumed as a nice pizza crust.
Yeah, pretty worth there, though, I gotta think, you know? They're down a lot in this game. Against the scaling team, you obviously don't want to trade even, but given the circumstances, I think they take those.
Yeah, if you're behind, always love to trade. If you're behind, a 1-for-1 is always worth, in my opinion. Unless you're losing an objective for it, like when I, int his jungle.
Right, yep. Don't worry, I'm equally familiar
I have
with
taken some
exactly what you mean.
bad fights lately.
Yeah. I had a really funny moment where one of my teammates are not super high rated, right?
Mhm.
And I was like, "Hey, we're playing Wukong MF, like kind of like this game. Let's go in, Wombo. You got ult." My teammate pinged their ultimate, and I didn't look at the chat because we were fighting in a team fight. So I went in.
And you're like, where's the ult?
No, I looked at the chat. I didn't even ask. I just said, "Oh."
We are going to see them contest for this Drake here, though. Cauliflower, Cyclone not quite available. They are going to go in, and red team manages to pick that one up. Cauliflower now going to be in a little bit of trouble, but Bills have the W. Big bullet time going over the wall, but it's not quite enough damage. WFF15 finds one. Gragas finds another, and the Dragon's Breath is mowing them down over top the entire team. A jump forward, a leap back, and Jizune is left alone as the Dragon's Breath is scorching them underneath the turret. The skies will descend, the Gragas will go forward, and the ace will come through for Uwu.
A lot of tower shots tanked there. I am amazed none of them go down. Well and truly amazed. But this is bad shape in game 1 for sure for Daddy's Darlings. I mean, you gotta start thinking at this point. I mean, desperation team fights, death brush, vision plays.
Rush Baron.
How do we get back? Yeah, because you've realistically only got a few more minutes here where the enemy team isn't just gonna always have more damage, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. And being almost, what is that, 9k, 8k down? 9k?
Yeah.
Gonna hurt quite a bit. Acel still on just one item, too.
Yeah, and honestly, not that much unspent gold. Just,
Well, they're gonna look for Deity, though. He is good and not window shopping. Shockwave's gonna find it, though. W gonna be available. He's gonna go over, and he's gonna blast down, and he will be safe.
Yeah, and that kind of hurts, because you're burning ultimates there from Daddy's Darlings and not finding it. I mean, you really only have so many opportunities before it's late game.
Oh, they're going to trail these forwards. Ult is going to do so much damage. Ult Barrel finds two. Cauliflower using the Cyclone is going to be able to do quite a bit of damage here on Wobble Wobble, and Sejuani is going to be able to pick that one up. A nice shutdown going over to the boar, riding Maiden from the north. But now Aurelion Sol has found the flank. They're trapped between a girl from the forest and a void-wearing monster in the bot lane. Big Beast's going to die to the Dragon's Breath, and that fight will put them 10k gold up.
I don't care if they win or lose this game. Daddy's Darlings have to ban Gragas next game. That's where I'm at. Like, and I don't know. I honestly, I don't know if they can win this game from here. I'd be very impressed if they did, and I'm not going to count them out because I have seen crazier things. But
I mean, I think one good Death Brush, and they're back in this.
Like a 5-man one. Yeah.
Like that. Nice. So I spilled some water.
Oh.
No, you're good. I just panned the camera all the way to bot lane so we could see the deer chilling on the rock.
I like that. That's actually a good angle. I was watching. I'm not going to name the show because I don't feel like giving it more credit than it already probably has. But it's a show you wouldn't think has a lot of really good nature shots, but it does. It's like a reality TV dating show.
Oh,
like a
yes,
really trashy one.
Okay, got it.
Not the one I was telling you about, actually a different one. But
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, if you know, you know, and if you don't know, like me, then well, fuck you, I guess. Anyway,
let's just say there's some fellers on an island.
Okay, got it. Yeah. We're gonna see a little bit of wallet slappage going on here, probably. The FF15 Pog will be spotted out here on the blue buff. Big Beast's gonna show up, try and help him out.
Yeah, I'm very impressed with this Jax actually from WeFF15 Pog. Ooh, big ultimate.
Big ultimate gonna be found. Boney Chris gonna be forced to run away. Glacial Prism used. Flash away. So many tools used there for Chris, but very clean really on the escape.
Yeah, that's sick. I mean, just like the movement, being able to like find that ultimate angle too. That was a long one. I think they used the wall, like overwall kind of move. Forcing themselves on the other side, and then the flash super clean at the end too.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it almost looked like Daddy's Darlings had an angle, and then Boney Chris said, nah.
Yeah, it was a really good look from Daddy's Darlings, though.
Wobble might be in a little bit of trouble now, though. He's going to hooked up, TP going to be used, knocked up again, bullet time going forward, shut down going over to Cauliflower as he looks to get away. The skies descend, won't do enough damage to catch him out of the back end of the fight, but Drox and Big Beast get absolutely annihilated by Deity of Pandas. Cauliflower looks to escape.
Yeah, and Drox is in real bad shape this game. I mean, it's just Boney Kristoff has so much more gold at this point, and Drox, I don't think he can really kill anyone. Like,
yeah,
he does solo ulti the Gragas.
Is Cauliflower gonna get away? Channeling the recall in the enemy base is a bold move, and we have a 50 flash forward W. They're gonna be able to get that one. But a
brutal.
valiant attempt from Cauliflower.
Yeah, and I like the look. I mean, this is kind of what we were saying. It has to be some desperate stuff from Daddy Starlings at this point, because
Yeah.
it takes that much to kill just the Gragas with no tank items, you know? So I kind of like where they were coming from, but they're just not going to be able to execute unless, I think it has to be like a full-blown 5-man death rush or something.
I want to see all of them stack up in one bush and use all of their ults at the same time. Just try that.
And
if that doesn't work, okay.
Then it's over. Well and truly, but and hopefully they get a couple of people with that. You know, I think if they could find Acel might even be a little easier than well, no, he has a stopwatch now, so that's gonna be
Little tough. Little tough there.
yeah. Maybe Gragas was the right target. I don't know.
Gragas is certainly a good target here. Kai'Sa is as well, having that flash still down from the previous play. Obviously does have the ultimate, but I think if you layer them well enough, Nautilus ult, Wukong ult, Orianna ult, then you can CC chain it so that she can't move. Hypothetically. Hypothetically
I mean,
speaking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they have the
Media
execution if
Pandas
they're all there.
Going on the
is so
aggressive.
Jezzy is
Zune
so done.
does have the healing coming out from that Radiant Virtue. Skies will descend, though. And there's just so much damage from this breath. And just more and more Starlight going into Panda. Currently at 252 Starlight. That seems like a lot.
It feels like a lot. I don't really know how it works, but I'm pretty sure it's a lot.
So the way it works is you get, I think you get Starlight anytime anything dies inside of your E, which is that little black holy thing. Or anytime you successfully channel a full rotation of Q onto an enemy champion. So the one of those stackers.
Okay.
Yeah, so 252, given that they have 179 CS, is a lot.
That feels like a lot, yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Maybe that's, I mean, I'm saying, I know Acel is a little bit less insane now, but it's a really good scaling champion, and I think people who have a good mastery of him are still going to make it look kind of crazy, you know?
Yeah. For sure. You got Tension Fox being annoying, and
yeah, a little bit of a push out here. I don't always like this when you're on the back foot, especially with a team that is so, like, wombo execution heavy, you know? I like it when teams say, prove it. And they're like, you want to end the game. You know, there's no objective on the map right now. Baron's down. Drake's already down. And the timers are a couple minutes. Come push us, you know? Try to hit a turret. And when they do that, you have a little bit more room, you know? You've got that opportunity with closer vision to, you know, maybe pick somebody off or get a good team fight started. I don't necessarily like walking up lanes when there's nothing to get, you know?
yeah. Yeah. And it can be hard, especially, you know, sometimes you take an inhib a little too early. I think taking an inhib now is certainly fine. You'll take that pressure, but, you know, sometimes that increased gold from those super minions can help a team that was behind get back into the game.
Yeah, speaking of getting back into the game, we do have a... Look, my headphones real quick, hold on.
Almighty eats his headphones across his room. We're just going to talk about how Daddy Star... Oh, he punched them across the room. We're playing some volleyball with our headsets now. Oh, Wobble Wobble going to look for the ultimate here on the Big B. He's going to belly slam underneath the turret, but that might be a little bit too far. Going to use the Glacial Prism, going to use the Bullet Time, going to use... That's all of the ultimate stacked up, and they get the kill!
That's crazy.
They can do it! They can kill them. The gods can bleed.
It was Gragas once again taken out.
Yep. I mean, he has to go in with
back
that
around.
belly slam, for the most part. So, you know, good target selection.
Yeah, and we do have IE picked up for Drox, so we'll see the damage is definitely going to be a lot higher. He has the ability to find a good target in these fights. Only has the autos left.
Yep,
No ultimate right now.
Pinging out that he's just trying to get a few more stacks, but the skies can descend and you can have that empowered version of the ultimate.
Yeah, we do have the dragon spawning in about 30 seconds. It would be really big to have that epic, gigantic Acel ultimate for that fight. Will be Soul. So see if Daddy's Darlings really want to contest or not here. They're missing some key ultimates, but maybe they'll be up in time.
Yep. 7 seconds bullet time likely won't be available, but it seems like the rest of the squad will have their pick of the litter.
I think they're already too late to really make it over there in time.
Yeah.
It's like a Cauliflower gonna go for the steal.
Those Cloud Turtle, Deity of Panda's looking over the wall. Looks at the damage.
He's in the
Cauliflower
pit.
going in. Oh, so close.
Kaisa
Kaisa manages to pick that one up. And Cloud Turtle gets out of there just in time.
Yeah, that was a respectable attempt, I think. You
Oh,
gotta
for
go
sure.
for those.
You gotta go for those. In this situation, you gotta go for those.
We'll see. I think they can just try for this end game push here. Took out the enemy jungler. Gotta be careful with the ultimates still, but I mean, this gold advantage is huge.
It is quite thick.
Oh, this could be
okay,
big.
they're able to find the ultimate. Boney Chris going to be taking a ton of damage here, but will it be enough? Lulu also going over the top. Tension Fox now going pretty low. Will you sacrifice Jizune for that play? Cloud Turtle now looking to be the next one to go down as they pick off the Nautilus on the side. Droxer is going to be left alone as Cauliflower respawns. Deity of Pandas might be in a little trouble, but does have the flash. Flash forward to find the Cyclone. Means that one more turret shot lands onto Wobble. Oh, just a little bit more damage on Pandas would have done it.
Yeah, that
They are gonna
polymorph
find the
completely stopped it. And that's hilarious that late game Acel just floats toward you, lasering everything to death. I mean, it's nothing that anyone could do. Drox just has to eat it.
I saw someone
And GG
talking-
game 1.
Yeah. Really good play from Uwu here. If people want to spend schmeckles on, like, it's pronounced like, the more of those that get redeemed, the more Uwu I will say Uwu.
Oh.
That's what I'll say.
Oh. Yeah.
You don't like that?
No, it's great. You guys in chat, if you really, 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 really want to do that, you know,
Add a few more reallys there.
if you really, really want to do it, like really wanted to do it, I guess you could put some schmeckles on that. You know, but
Alright.
save them till after the betting, I would say. You know, it's always smart.
Yeah, and a 50-50 split there. Good betting odds. Uwu gonna take that one.
Did we get a few extra people in lobby here? No?
I
They're
don't
just...
think so. It's just a lot of people down in spectate. All right, so
Yeah.
what are your
thoughts for game 2?
adjustments? Yes.
That's I'm thinking about it. And my big thing is that Gragas was very strong. I think Wobble is definitely a practiced Gragas player. You know, perhaps Gragas main even. And I would consider that a very ban-worthy character moving forward. I think now that, because I think it looks like they've opted for red side from Daddy's Darlings. I think Kaisa could be a good takeaway after seeing Boney Chris able to pilot it so well. So I'm into that idea. But yeah, maybe just pick a little bit more aggression for Cloud Turtle in mid lane, so that you can't just get outscaled by some random last pick scaling option. You know.
Yeah.
They're also red side, so they'll have counter for one of their solos. I thought Jizune actually had a lot of good looks in top lane, so I wouldn't mind saving the counter pick for top as well. I think it was just the matchup kind of got away from him. Definitely that Jax was
knife's edge, and I think Gragas came up one time, but that one time was all they really needed.
Yeah. And once you give Jax that early gold, like I think that Sejuani was fine for like a pretty stable and even early game matchup, you know? And then once you have your items, you can just kind of tank whatever nonsense Jax is doing. But when you let him get rolling like that, it's a big problem for sure. Or getting into the draft, I think you probably have that up.
Yes, we've got it up on the stream now. Hecarim going to be banned away, as is LeBlanc. Bans staying relatively similar from the last time. I expect a really interesting. So, Lil Cryptic has gifted a sub to Lil Lemon. Lil Cryptic, thank you very much. You know where to go. There are 2 Denny's in Vermont. You're going to go to one in North near Burlington. You're going to go around back, knock 3 times, talk to our buddy Todd. He'll let you in. Pancakes are on us. And Lowell Lemon, the same to you. And Low Cryptic gifting another sub to KJ. KJ, you know what you're going to do. You're going to go to the Denny's in Vermont, outside of Burlington, knock on the back door. Pancakes are on us. Thank you so much, Cryptic. We appreciate it. It goes into making the streams slightly higher budget.
A little bit, yeah.
You can't let it get too high.
Yeah. We get like maybe like every couple subs there's like another little UI thing or like like overlay for draft. It's like it adds up. We got the Shen first pick. This was banned last time. Gonna be probably just straight up FF15 Pog's pick here. Graves gonna be the answer. That is going to give them some more early game options. Graves loves to power farm, but he also is good at taking over those early objectives. Got some early ganking.
Such a good duelist. Very, very, very strong. I have been invaded by one too many Graves in my time.
Oh, it's a scary champ. He is potent.
Gets on top of you, all those shotgun shells hit, you're done. Lights out. I've never seen a champ, if they're really fed, one shot harder than Graves.
Ooh, Ezreal for Drox. I like this. I like the Ezreal. I think that Ezreal can go kind of even in bot and just play chill. But he's also got good lane pairings where maybe Big Beast goes for like a Karma or something and they have a dominant poke lane.
Little Robot Man calling this as a potential River Shen here.
That would be interesting. That would be interesting for sure. Akali not banned, gonna be taken away from Cloud Turtle here. And I kind of am interested to see what the answer will be, because I know Cloud Turtle plays a fair bit of the Akali.
Yes. But usually if you're against a champion you play a lot of, you'll know the counter. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's I'm interested to see exactly what the answer will be here. I know Galio is actually like weirdly enough a pick a lot of people like into Akali. I don't know how good that's gonna be with the meta. But Lee Sin, really, really good option, I think, into Graves. Gives you that early ganking, that high damage. Not going to be, I think, favored in like a straight up head-to-head duel, but is going to play well into 2v2s.
Yeah, for
Let's see what the answer is. I'd like to see a mid pick from Daddy's Darlings here. I think they can save support.
Lee Sin can absolutely win 1v1 if he's hitting absolutely everything and can manage to dodge some of the Graves. Because you can kind of dodge Graves autos, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's possible.
Hard, though. Yeah,
but yeah, I think Graves
hard.
is so much of a damage, just like stat check.
Ooh, Kaisa Ben I like. This is kind of smart. I love the Sylas. This is one of the conventional counters into Akali. But it's also super good into Shen. Because if you're side laning against him, you can answer that ulti.
Oh god. Shen with Sylas. I mean, Sylas with Shen ulti is terrifying.
It's miserable.
Truly, truly nightmarish.
Yeah, so very smart pick there from Daddy's Darlings. I like the Kaisa ban. I think Ezreal not going to punish a Kaisa in lane. So you go ahead and get rid of it. Lux, yeah, that's one of the things that you would traditionally be pairing with an Ezreal to try to win lane. Xayah I don't like as much here. I don't know that they really have the team for it.
Ezreal has a lot of friends. He's a well-liked explorer dude.
Yeah, a lot of potential lane pairings down there. I think I still want to see Big Beast on like a Leona or something, some engaged character.
What about like Cho'Gath?
Cho'Gath? Not support, right?
I mean, you could.
I kind of like Cho'Gath's support in a weird way.
I mean, it's got CC, right?
Mm-hmm.
For the gank setup. It's got utility with the silence.
Ooh. Mord eats Shen alive.
Yes. Very good.
Really, really does.
Wait, quick question. What happens if
he ults a Shen that's ulting?
Yeah.
I think the ult cancels. Yeah, I think it's a cancel.
Okay. Cool.
Vayne is too insane. There's no way. Okay.
Vayne buffs. Vayne
That's gotta be
buffs.
bad. That's just gotta be bad. Karma takeaway I like a lot. I don't like the Vayne pick. I'm gonna be honest with you.
I do. I do.
You
I think
do?
she's pretty strong after the buffs, and like it's a hard execution, but it gives you an easier way to kill the Mordekaiser in these team fights. And honestly, Silas, who can get kinda tanky, it also means you're not giving too great of an ultimate over to Silas for
That's
either
true.
Karma or Vayne. Like the best options here are Shen, Akali, Lee Sin, and those are all topside.
There's two things I like about it, okay? Alistar I don't like.
Alistar, not
Nautilus
Nautilus.
better. Yeah, that's better. Now you can just R the Vayne in a fight and it's fine. No, the two things that I like about Vayne here is I think Vayne has a chance of winning against Mord in the ultimate. And Vayne has a lot of dive buddies on the team, which Vayne's short range AD carry likes to dash around in fights. One of the best things you can give a Vayne in a team fight is distractions. You know, have an Akali, a Lee Sin, and a Shen in melee range, kind of drawing the attention of everybody that's trying to kill your Vayne. You know.
Mm-hmm. For sure. A little bit of a which hyper carry do we focus? Kinda.
Yeah. Or just like everyone's going invis. I can't see Akali. I can't see Vayne. Where the hell am I? Like, you know, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. I mean, Pipis delivery service makes a decent point. What if you just put Vayne top and sent Shen bot with Karma?
I mean, the interesting thing about that is I don't think Shen would get punished too hard because it's just Ezreal Nautilus, and I think you'll be fine, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But
you think...
I don't know that Vayne is a good matchup into Mord either. It's probably okay. It's probably better than Shen, but...
I am interested. Hang on. I gotta get some more ice for my finger here real quick.
Okay, you go right ahead. I'm gonna keep talking on that bid because it's actually quite interesting. Just because if you have Shen bottom, I think it kind of defeats that purpose of having like Shen ultimate for Drake fights or like, you know, that sort of thing. But you do kind of get this opportunity. You also delay the timing on the Shen ulti because you're dual laning. But you do have an opportunity to throw Shen ult on a Vayne in 1v1 with a Mord. Like that's kind of insane. Ooh, wait, weird question. What happens if Vayne's 1v1ing Mord, Shen ultis the Vayne, and then Mord ultis the Vayne? Does the Shen just appear in the middle of the lane with no one else? It's like alone? I kind of think that's how it works. You lose too much using his R at all versus Mord. Yeah, no, Mord definitely beats Shen. I guess opting out of that matchup in any way possible makes a lot of sense. I also think swapping with Akali would be viable. Like Shen playing lane into Silas. It probably also sucks, to be fair. But okay, that makes sense. Thank you, Dark Knight. I think that makes sense for how it works.
Sharpening my feathers.
But no, I think opting to get Shen out of that lane at any point is always going to be good. We definitely saw that that Jizune has that wherewithal, that ability to win the matchup if the matchup's favorable. And I think the matchup's favorable, so we're looking to see that flip flop of game one, where we FF15 Pog was just running over the lane at a certain point. Hopefully they find a way to get Shen out of there before it gets too rough. Shen versus Silas is fine. I think it's probably okay. I don't think it's great either, but it ain't gonna be anywhere near as bad as into Mordekaiser.
Yeah. Solo lane swaps absolutely fine as well. So we can see them flip flopping back and forth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they did lock in for their positions, but you can always swap a top and mid. That's totally fine.
Yeah. That rule's very confusing, but
it's only confusing because the stipulation is just as long as you're not doing something intentionally deceptive, you know. And some people just can't get their heads around what intentionally deceptive is, you know.
Right. Yeah. In any case, I here like Daddy's Darling's
Is your finger better?
I mean, no, not yet. It feels better
numb again
because it's in ice water, but
Perfect.
Yeah, I burned my finger twice this week. Great time. I burned my burn.
It was the same finger?
One of them was.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That is the worst though. That actually sucks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I
Lord
like
Cappington. That's a great name. Love that.
Whoa. That is a good name. Wow. Is that like the Zoomer like Cap'n kind of thing, or like
Probably.
is this some other kind of I forget I asked actually. No, I think I like Daddy's Darlings comp quite a lot this game. And I have a few problems with OO's comp for sure. So that being
Yeah.
said, I think there's a lot of play. Even in the earlier game, for both sides. So I could see this going either way. This is gonna be a better game though than game one, just as far as like um if one team gets ahead, it's not kind of deciding the game. You know?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Certainly, I think there can be a lot of back and forth, a lot of playmaking with both these rosters. I think it will be pretty hard if your Nautilus is
Yeah.
too squishy, because that is one of your main engage tools here. For the side of Daddy's Darlings, obviously Silas will also be able to do that. But in terms of like, typically speaking, I feel like with Shen, you want Shen to be on someone who's going to deliver you to the backline, and the person who's most likely to do that is Nautilus. So you want to make sure he can live at least a little bit. I would expect Wobble Wobble on this Lee Sin to look pretty aggressive early, as Lee Sins are wont to do. But
I think the interesting thing here as well is that some of these champions benefit a lot from both teams being relatively low range, which I think is the case here. Shen, notably, and I think Vayne as well, are going to benefit a lot from lower range.
yeah, Vayne will be a little bit more punished in that bot lane, obviously, with Ezreal being there. Nautilus, I think, is going to have a hard time laning here.
Yeah, I think Nautilus is going to have a hard time team fighting too. He really doesn't have that many good targets. I mean, he's just trying to ult Vayne desperately every fight.
Yeah. Gotta find the Vayne. Maybe it's okay if you find the Akali. Maybe it's good if you find the Karma, right? But
Yeah, Karma could be picked off pretty easily too. Biggest issue is Lee Sin versus Graves. No, I actually don't hate Lee Sin versus Graves. I think that's a good way to kind of reduce the advantage Graves is going to have in that early game. You pick a champion that also plays well in the early game, especially in those 2v2s. Maybe you have to sack a crab somewhere, but you know, hear me out. Mord not bought. I don't know. No, I don't think
kind of
that's
like
happening.
that.
You like that?
You hook into Mord pull, okay?
That's kind of spicy. That's a tech.
Yeah, there's some technology there. Let me just get my correct score overlay. It is 1-0 in favor of Hello.
Yeah, and
Skin game here.
I was just looking at that.
Mm-hmm.
Is it 5 and 5? No, Karma no skin.
No, it's 3 versus 5.
That's I don't know. That's a big advantage, I would say.
Yeah. I mean, listen, they might have won game 1, but they got to step up their skin game.
Yeah, I mean, this is honestly, it's looking bad at this point.
All right, are you at 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26? Goodbye, my friend. Oh, wow, I'm just clicking all the buttons.
Turn these time controls on. I'm all set. Once again, I guess does Wobble just really like this red pet?
Yeah, maybe he just says, I like damage. And I'm going to build damage. You know what? That is totally fair.
Yeah, that's cool. I'm a little surprised that Cauliflower is not the one with the red pet. I feel like Graves is one of the only characters that I would even remotely think that's an idea on, you know?
Oh, but Graves loves move speed, so blue pet is
That's true,
nice.
yeah.
He'll be running at you, and you will be scared. I know I'm scared of Graves. Graves players scare me. Even though one of my mains is the best counter to Graves.
Which one? Nunu?
Warwick. Because he just wins. If Graves get on top of you, you're just like, okay, I drain tank you and you die.
Warwick is a crazy champion, honestly, like a little underrated.
Warwick's great. Warwick's really great for solo queue. He's a little bit less good in comp, just because like part of what you get in the like solo queue aspect is that pure chaos. So we do see an accelerated clear coming out from the Lee Sin, choosing to skip that Gromp.
Oh, why do you think he's doing that? Going for the bot gank again? Early bot gank?
Kato 1000 might disagree with me on Warwick. He says
That was
Warwick
it.
in all caps.
All caps, yeah. It's aggressive there.
I heard Warwick, I'm summoned. Oh, yeah. I mean, you can absolutely play him in comp. I have played him in low-budget LCS matches before. It's just, he's harder to play when the enemy team is coordinated. Because he excels when it's like, oh, there was like a close fight one lane, but maybe your team lost. Oh, all of a sudden that person is now dead as well, and now it's kind of even.
Or like I can find someone in isolation and just remove them. Kind of
Okay,
thing
see,
with my massive depression.
They're talking about dirty Warwick top. I'm talking about Chad Warwick jungle.
That's
Okay?
true, actually, yeah. Warwick top is like an entirely different beast. And Jizune, I think in the early game, not going to have too much of a crazy advantage up here. But once these items start coming in, Shen's really in bad shape, I think.
Yeah, for sure. But is still able to use that little bit of power that he does have early. Big B's gonna find a hook in, but not too much else gonna happen there.
Yeah, I'm kind of excited to see how this bot lane plays out because it didn't look great for Drox and Big Beast in game 1. But Drox has adapted a little bit, gone for the Ezreal, gone for the exhaust, so that they both have exhaust, him and Boney. And I think they have a slight advantage there because, you know, you have the exhaust and the ignite versus the exhaust and the heal.
Ooh, Cloud Turtle looking to go in. Not quite gonna be able to find the Abscond Book though. Lee Sin has gone aggressive with his path, but in the same time that Lee Sin has done a 4 camp, Cauliflower has managed to do a 6 camp.
Yeah, it's rough. It's really rough.
And
because of this,
oh, smoke screen gonna go down. BFF15 is gonna be slowed up, but that taunt's gonna find them both, and he is just out.
yeah. But I think because of this, what's happened now, unless Lee Sin can get a gank on the bot side that's very impactful, I don't like the decision to skip Gromp and accelerate the clear and try to get down here. Probably can trade the crabs, which I think he's going to go do, but Drox and Big Beast playing respectfully, aware of the possibility that Lee Sin's down here. And that's just a big advantage, I think, for the side of the Graves.
Yeah, Graves just gonna be farming up a storm here. Ooh, big Karma Q coming out there.
Yeah. Do you see Lee Sin running back down towards bot?
Ooh, here comes Graves mid though. Deity of Pandas will be touched by the smoke screen, but not too much else gonna happen.
Yeah, playing nice and respectfully, aware of, I think they had a ward toward the Raptors, so I think he was aware that the Graves was in the area. That ward has since despawned, but you know, they still played toward the bottom side, which is exactly how you're supposed to do it.
Yeah, Graves just gonna be starting up his second clear without going back.
Yeah, that's the total, that's
Wait,
exactly how I would play
See
it.
where Pandas is?
Yeah, and Graves I don't think is in too much trouble, but didn't go back for item.
Shuriken
Wow,
is gonna
the
miss.
Shuriken.
They're all pinging on the way. Lee Sin here available as well. The Cauliflower doing a good amount of damage. Drox available. Resonating Strike not going to land from over the wall. They're going to know. Lee Sin is now there. Uses the cripple. Vayne going forward. Flash out from Cauliflower, but is going to be found. First blood for the Vayne. Those silver bolts doing the damage. Now Lee Sin going to be rooted up under the turret. Going to take one more damage. Can the minions finish him up? No, they can't quite get him. Cloud Turtle, though, teleporting into the tower. Doesn't have it unleashed yet, but it might not matter. He finds it with the Q over the entire team. But now here comes FF15 Pog with the ultimate, and they're going to be able to find Silas back. Now Droxer's going down under the turret, but Big Beast finds another another stun up, and is able to get Boney Chris.
Oh.
Wow.
I mean, that was a little too wild for Mightis, but I mean, man, oh man, did they fight. That was crazy. Cloud Turtle going back in, continuing the fight after the TP. And Jizune, after all this, is probably going to get a nice little lead in top lane, which is the thing. A lot of people are going to look at this and they're going to be like, oh, they traded kills back and forth. No clear winner in my mind. But top lane is the winner. Jizune gets the free wave, gets the crash. Shen has the TP back to top. so used both the ultimate and the TP. Gonna pick a lot of that XP back up, but lost a few CS. And critically, Jizune hit 6, had really no pressure on him. Gonna pick up items and have a slight farm advantage, and I think that's gonna spell bad news for WF15 Pog and top.
Yeah, see, Little Robot Man is just speaking my language 100%. This is why we don't buff Vayne. This is why we don't buff Vayne. We don't buff Vayne because if an early Vayne can do damage, that's not okay. That's not okay by me. I need my tanks that I like to play to be safe. And if there's a Vayne on the Rift, they're not safe, and that makes me sad.
It's actually worse than that, because that was a pre-level 6 Vayne doing damage. He didn't even ult.
Yeah. Little Rough Cloud Turtle here does have that sneaky ability. Not anymore. I was gonna say it's very. Ooh, hang on. Cauliflower gonna be doing some damage up here. Taunt might not be available as he did just use it to get out, but is quite tanky right now with the Bambi Cinder and the Doran Shield. There's that sometimes brief period of time where Sylas has 6 and enemy mid laner doesn't, and Sylas can use their ult before they have access to it, and it just feels very BM.
It's one of the most toxic things in the whole game. I've had that experience too many times. It's worse when you're bottom lane and you're just like the support with a big AoE stun or something. Like I'm playing a Mumu or something. And this level 6 Sylas comes bot and I'm level 4.
Media Panda's deciding to go in. Maybe looking for the perfect execution. Lee Sin waiting in the wings, but so is Cauliflower. And Cauliflower going to be a little bit more decisive with it. Level 6 not available for other. Ult 1 used. Ult 2 used. Underneath the turret. Cloud Turtle looking to do the damage, but the ult away means that the turret will finish that one up, and Wobble Wobble will pick up that kill.
Yeah, really nice decision making there from Deity of Pandas, knowing that if they just use that ultimate to get away, the turtle finished the job with the jungle.
Tension Fox with the roam. Tension has some great mid roams both games.
Yeah, and it's interesting because I don't think that Tension's lanes have had that much pressure, you know? Like, obviously they did just have that big diving play on the bot turret, but the previous game they were up against the MF, and I'm pretty sure MF was just pushing the whole game. So still managing to pull off the roams even though they don't have that many timings for them is pretty impressive.
Yeah, absolutely. Uzune gonna be looking... Now, even though Shen ulted bot there, only down 6 CS.
Yeah, it's just the product of that TP being available to come back to top. Which I think is a big reason why Jizune opted not to TP to bot with Cloud Turtle, because they knew, if I go there, I'm just going to lose top lane, you know?
Right.
Shen has two
Let's have the ultimate available here. We'll have to see what ends up happening. Walk up, taunt through means not much can happen. I feel like... I don't know. I'm not a top laner. What do I know?
I mean, this is one of those annoying points in the game where you just don't have the damage yet to kill the Shen. But there will come a time when, you know, Mord, I think most people go Rylai's Rush. He's just going to finish first item, and it's over. Shen can no longer play.
Yeah. That will happen every once in a while. But it will be interesting to see. Actually, it looks like Rylai's first, right? What mythic do you think Jizune is targeting?
I like what's the Healy one, the Omnivamp one?
Oh god, I know it.
You know,
too.
Riftmaker.
Yeah.
I like that one, but I've seen people go a couple other things.
I've seen a lot of Jaksho.
Jaksho's good, actually. A lot of the tank options are fine, but I still like Riftmaker. Yeah, especially if you're in a split push matchup.
Just because you want the damage.
Yeah, well, just like you're gonna be sitting with Shen in a side lane. If Shen's not in a side lane for whatever reason, like he's terrified of you, you're kind of winning. You know, you've already nullified his champion's purpose. Like,
you know, Drox and Big D's doing a good job keeping that wave there, but Cauliflower will be on the other side of the map, so no gank up just now. But Drox and Big D certainly will be chilling with that bot lane setup for now. We're going to get a little bit of a Herald fight. Jizune going to be able to first the move. Cauliflower kind of bullying Wobble Wobble. Smite going to go down. Deity of Panda is going to look to contest, but this is 3. Cauliflower going forward. Flash comboed! Cauliflower finds the solo bolo on the enemy jungler.
Yeah, feels like a little bit of revenge from the previous game, and I like to see that, a little bit of competitiveness between these junglers. Gonna be rewarded with that Rift Herald as well. And, you know, I was about to comment earlier on how the Graves has been pretty well, like, turned off for a lot of this early game by Wobble's Lee Sin. But we're starting to see that it hasn't really. It's still Graves.
Panda's looking to go aggressive here. Does have that ultimate. Silas also has Ellie ultimate, so... But... see what does end up happening, as both of them are quite low in that lane. Actually, take that back. Cloud Turtle's quite low. Panda's is chilling.
Yeah, and I'm interested with this bottom lane because we do see Wobble walking into this. Vayne has opted to go Essence Reaver, which is an interesting itemization. I'm wondering if they're going to go for like a Quick Blades build.
Hiding underneath the turret. They're going to spot out the Akali looking for this, but the Lee Sin will be here as well. Rooted up means he's going to take a turret shot. Just going to dodge that other route. And
This is Jizune's TP.
Yeah, using that teleport to help prevent that bot dive. Maybe a little prematurely, though.
It was hasty. Shen didn't ult, and now you're going to go back. You're going to go top,
Go
and
in,
Shen's
though,
going.
so it might be value. Here comes the Shen ult over the top, but Mordekaiser is available. Shen does find the top, but at the back line, Jizune is finding a ton of damage. Now the passive is proc. Drox looking to do damage, but Chris is here. Civil bolts are stacking onto Drox. Can Drox live? One more, and Drox will fall. Drox manages to fall to empowered Lee Sin auto. Cloud Turtle looking to do the damage to the back line, but Condemn into the wall means so much damage is going to go down on to the chain Didymasian, and he is lights out.
Yeah, and it's just a tough fight for the side of Daddy's Darlings. Jizune, I think, played really well, able to get into the backline at the start, but didn't find the Vayne. And it's kind of what we were talking about. You want an auto assault, you probably also want Mord if he's fed to go after that Vayne. And now we see Boney Chris with 3 kills, a shutdown, and I think they're in some trouble here. Daddy's Darlings,
Wait,
the dragon spawning.
Did they have a stopwatch for that fight?
It looks like it, yeah.
Is that a commencing stopwatch? Or is that a stopwatch? Someone
I
in chat,
think-
tell me if normal broken stopwatch sells for 40, or if that's a commencing. Because I think
It's
they
from
might
runes.
sell differently. Okay, it's from
Yeah,
runes.
you can check the runes. Yeah, it's perfect timing rune.
Perfect timing rune coming out on Chris's Vayne. That's...
Yeah. I mean, it's either that or boots, right? And I don't really like taking boots on AD, especially if you think you're gonna want them early.
Yeah. Yeah, I always get frustrated when I'm like, oh, I want boots here. And I'm like, I went 3 boots. Crap.
Yeah, I think Vayne benefits a lot from having that movement speed as well. So
Yeah, and Jizune's taking a whole bunch of damage from these empowered autos. Ooh, but they're going to
Oh,
find the root
big
up. Boney
find.
Chris going to be the ulti target, and Drox might be able to find this one. Oh, misses
Oh,
the
come
Q,
on,
though, and
Drox.
here comes the karma, and Chris lives by the skin of their teeth.
Drox is not happy after that one. I'm telling you, that was
Oh.
a big miss.
It was
That
so
could've been
good
so much
from Big
gold.
Beast. He found the Q, he found the depth charge. Now I've got a Death Realm going on
Jizune.
here. This is the matchup we were talking about. This is the Mordekaiser beating the Shen. Wobble Wobble going to find a little kick away.
There it is, though,
no
just the
way.
Rylai's. And that's how big it is. They turned the matchup completely.
Yeah.
No, so this dragon hasn't gone down. Still
Yeah.
hanging around.
What's up?
And I think both teams are just going to run straight back, in my mind. I think that's exactly what's going to happen. Mid's going to jockey for position a little bit. Jizune with the big win. Shen has TP and ult, though, and Jizune doesn't. So I
Yeah.
kind of want to see Jizune hit that recall, run straight to dragon, and join the team fight.
I'm loving how Deity of Pandas is playing these mid lane fights. They're trying to fight Silas mostly in the wave so that Silas can't hit his abilities
Chains.
onto the Akali.
Yeah, I think Deity of Panda has been really, really smart with how they're using the Akali this
Oh,
game.
but Cloud Turtle finds a little bit of a skirmish. But here comes 3
Oh.
members. Cloud Turtle forced to try to ult away. But the instant play coming out there from Uwu.
Yeah, really, really smart. And kind of baits the turnaround there. Plays down toward the Raptor camp where the Lee Sin is. Absolutely played to the jungle, played to the top laner, got rewarded with the kill. Looking for the Graves here as they're starting up the Drake. And
Yeah.
Graves really smart, going to wrap back around toward his bot lane. Try to at least be grouped. But the dragon already gone. And that's 2. Infernal Soul going to be the map.
Ooh, Q is going to land. Resonating Strike. Not too much more, though, as Big Beast is now here. Up away, though. Wobble Wobble going to look to be safe. We
Yeah.
FF15 and Deity of Panda is going to try and help them take away this crown objective, the blue buff. Oh, Ezreal,
Ooh.
not quite enough.
That's a good effort. I like that.
That's
I
a
like
good look.
ulting for
That's a
that.
good look.
Yeah, and I think I'm not really sure what Boney Chris is gonna go here because you get to pick between like Quick Blades and IE and even Ginsu's is good on Vayne.
Yeah. We Pandas trying to find this skirmish on the Cloud Turtle. Gonna be a little bit scary. Forward, gonna not be found up by the Abscond Doug, but neither is the taunt gonna find him.
Yeah, and both mid laners playing it clean, able to escape from the pressure. Shenult picked up by Cloud Turtle, and we'll see if they can find a crazy play like we were talking about with this.
Yeah, I mean, they also have Unleashed Teleport, so they could go... If there were 2 fights happening on the map, there could be a world where they TP into one fight, Shenult into the other. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, actually, both Shen and Cloud Turtle could do that, which is hilarious.
That would be funny. It's like, oh, there's a bot fight, and now there's a top fight. So, how about both teams, let's say, send Jizune and Cloud Turtle mid? Or Jizune and we have the 15 Pog mid, and then send everyone else to side lanes. But 2 in each side lane. As we do see another Mordekaiser ult coming down here onto the Shen. It is going to be underneath turret this time.
Oh, good
We'll be able to
flash.
dodge the Decimating Smash. Now Deity of Pandas is going to go in.
Wait,
Here
that's
comes
the
the
ult.
Silas Shen ult. Deity of Pandas, though, going to be the recipient
The
of the
other Shen
regular
ult.
Shen ult. Jizune going to look to do the damage. We have the 15 Pog is incredibly low after that one. And now Cauliflower is coming out over the wall. Deity of Pandas going over, but a flash over, a jump over, and Cloud Turtle will not let Pandas get away with that.
Yeah, Cloud Turtle making the case that they are the better Shen in this game.
There's a better Shen, the better Akali, maybe.
Just the better everything.
Oh,
they
Big
get
B's
all
gonna
the
go into the wall. She's gonna have to be very careful. Forced to flash out right there. Wobble Wobble looking to do the damage. Tension Fox taking a lot of damage on that turret. It's TP now coming through. This is, I mean, Silas did it. This is the other fight. He's here.
Yep, Vayne going in with the ultimate though.
Oh, so much
Gonna be in a
damage.
little bit of
but
trouble, a lot
we're
of
under
trouble.
turret. But the kick is strong. The Dragon's Rage finds its mark. And Boney Chris is forced to flash out of that turret range. Gets a little bit greedy on it.
Yeah, and this is Wobble saying they won't be outclassed. Cauliflower with a good play on the top side, able to show up and make sure that Cloud Turtle picks up the double. But Wobble able to respond on the bot side and almost getting the kill onto Cloud Turtle, but does secure the kill onto Big Beast.
Big Beast. What an
Karma-
avengeful fight.
Oh my good lord. What
Hey,
is
that's
that?
a little robot man, okay?
I know, I see it. Karma with the classic support KD 007. Very clean.
Alright, Tension Fox should be the next James Bond. You know, Daniel Craig's retiring. We all know it. It should be
I don't know if
Tension
this
Fox.
is a thing for other people, but this has always been like one of my favorite things to see when I'm playing support. I just look at the hit tab and look at the score, and I'm just 007, you know? Like,
Oh, yeah. I like that
It
when
just
I'm
feels
jungling.
good.
That feels great.
yeah, but it doesn't happen as much when you're jungle. If you play like the Enchanter stuff, I mean, it happens all the time.
I know. But that's why it's so special when it does happen on jungle.
It's true.
Alright, well, we do have a mid-game here. 3K here is the gold lead here for Daddy's Darlings. They find themselves in an eventful situation. You can check where the individual gold is. I expect a good chunk of that. 2K is going to be the difference between Jizune and we have
Oh, that top gap,
Pog. Yep. Did you just say that top gap?
Yeah. You know what the best item is in this entire game
What?
for this match specifically?
What?
It's what's the shield AP one?
The shield AP one?
Yeah, the magic pen on shielded targets, the AP item.
Oh.
Shadow Flame.
Shadow Flame, yeah.
Absolutely nuts, and like 3 people can build it. Like Akali can get it, Silas is getting it.
Yeah, it's
and
a good
I
item,
think
too.
Jizune could also pick it up. Yeah, it's crazy strong here. Karma and Shen on one side, and then Mord and a Shen ulti on the other, you know.
Lee Sin, too.
Lee Sin as well, yeah, Nautilus as well. There's so many shields in this game.
Yeah, maybe even a Serpent's Fang at some point here from someone.
Yeah, hell, Vayne could probably get it, I don't know.
So we are going to see the team fight starting up here. Blank coming out from Wobble Wobble. He's looking to Wobble Wobble his way into their back line as Cauliflower looking to do the damage. Won't get rooted up there by Tension Fox just yet. Just In a little bit of a poke war, it looks like Daddy's Darlings are kind of winning. They're just staying consistent. Now Cloud Turtle going in onto the side. Wobble Wobble taking quite a bit of damage. Perfect execution used, but in onto the back line is Shen finding a taunt. Onto the Mordekaiser. Jizune taking a chunk of damage now. Big Beast is going to go in. Uses the Death Charge, but is forced to fall back. Cloud Turtle goes on a killing spree and takes out the enemy jungler. That will almost certainly mean this Drake is going to go into the hands of Daddy's Darlings unless they lose this upcoming team fight. Inside track onto the river is Owo. BB Panda able to find a Shuriken flip. Slowly finding their way methodically back into the river, but here comes the Condemned. Boney Chris looking to do the damage, and Big Beast will be no more on the Rift. Now the Shet ult going in onto the Vayne. Graves ult doing quite a bit of damage as Cauliflower is looking to execute the carry. Deity of Pandas taken out in the back line by Jizune. Now Cloud Turtle diving, but he gets taunted up. Boney Chris taken incredibly low by the Ezreal. Cauliflower available, but Jizune has to back. And this is, I think they just have to reset and come back.
Yeah, both sides are kind of unable to continue here.
Yeah, Drox and Cauliflower looking to keep the inside track, keep the pressure so that they can't come back. But Wobble Wobble has respawned. The fight lasted so long that the enemy jungler is able to get up, even though you found that kill early on.
Yeah, critically here, Deity Panda has no TP available, but Cloud Turtle has TP. So I think this should be pretty well in the hands of Daddy's Darlings. They don't seem to want to go for it without everyone here, though. Not willing to burn the TP to just blow this thing up. They are actually going to.
Yeah, they're going to burn
and
that
Vayne
TP.
showed top.
Vayne
showed top.
I mean, they pinged it, I think, so they're just going to say, okay, and this dragon is ours. They are going to deny the soul stacking. And they're going to pick up potentially the first of 4 Infernal Drakes. I think we've said this before, but I love being able to stack one kind of Drake over and over and over because it lets you play to that specific strength as opposed to having a bunch of like, oh, we've got, you know, a little bit of haste, a little bit of healing, a little bit of speed. It's like, no, we've got a lot of damage. And so that's what we're going to do.
And they have tools in this game to make use of that. They could just say, okay, let's get a little more poke down with Ezreal before we opt into a fight, since we do that much more damage if they do pick up those stacking Infernals.
Yeah. Obviously, a little bit of our head ourselves. It is their first dragon here, but will be quite nice.
If we're looking for a 3-game series, that's what's going to happen. We do see Vayne has opted to finish the shield bow, now bought another pickaxe, so I'm really curious to see what the Vayne's actually going to do here, because pickaxe doesn't build into Ginses, so it's probably, in my mind, IE. Destins would be weird. I don't think it's good.
Does it build into Rageblade?
No. No, Rageblade's like all swords, I think. Or all daggers, I mean.
Ooh, Shen ult is going to be used here on the Deity Pandas. Shuriken Flip not quite going to be able to be found. The taunt will land, though. But Death Realm is available here. Isn't quite going to use it. Is just going to try and walk out of this one. Perfect execution going to be used. Shuriken Flip going to be found again. Are they going to go back in? Yes, they will. Flash over the wall. I think he's trying to save it here. But meanwhile, they started up the Baron. It's the classic top lane for Baron power play. The Wobble Wobble is here. Big Beast getting taken quite low. Keep your eyes on the diver. As now Chris goes in on the back line. Cloud Turtle looking to do the damage, but the army forms up around the Vayne, and Cauliflower is left to retreat.
Yeah, and I think they just forgot that Jizune's TP is not available.
Yeah. Cauliflower. Oh, Flash Dragon's Rage kick. Cauliflower going to be taken down. Won't be able to get anyone out with there. Now Destroyer of Pandas has made their way up from bot lane, but so has Jizune. Progging that Mord passive. Tried to use the ultimate there. Didn't go because Shroud was available.
I'm not sure how much Jizune actually wanted that ultimate. I think they were just trying to save Drox. And they were successful.
Yep, and now whoa, are going to find themselves on the Baron, and Vayne is absolutely shredding this. I feel like you might need to Mord ult the Vayne.
Yeah, I think I'm not even sure you win if you Mord ult the Vayne at this point. I mean, Jizune is really tanky, but you have to hit your Qs on this Vayne, dashing around in your Death Realm. I'm not sure it's that easy.
We're about to get a little bit look at it. Mord ult is going to be used on the Vayne. Conven not quite going to find him, stunned up, but will be pushed away. Now Wobble Wobble will be the target of the other 3, so it manages to find a little bit of a positive interaction. Boney Chris now going to be actually in a little bit of trouble, and the Ignite helps him find it. Big Beast going to be able to get that takedown. Now Akali in the middle of the fight, looking to do the damage. Perfect execution is going to be able to pick up Big Beast themselves. Now Cloud Turtle looking to show their prowess, that Akali uses the R2 to get over the wall. Cauliflower looking to assist.
All right. Overall, I mean, not so bad for Daddy's Darlings. They actually kill the Vayne. Don't think they had to burn anything too crazy, but they are going to get sieged up on this mid turret
Yeah, I mean
by
that
these
will
Baron
be
creeps.
a chunk of money onto Big Beast, who I think did end up picking that up using Ignite. So they're going to be tankier. They're going to be more able to do the engages. Maybe not the best recipient for that gold, but certainly it will be utilized.
Yeah, I think you absolutely want every dime you can get going on to Drox at this point, because there's just no way Drox can kill Shen without some armor pen.
Yeah.
And that's still a ways away. So
Do you think it's a Sheraldo's Grudge or a normal one?
I really like Serilda's against a full melee team like this. I mean, almost full melee, you know. You just are so much more
Cauliflower
able
gonna
to
get taunted
tank.
up, gonna get kicked away. FF15 is gonna get popped up as Cauliflower manages to run outside of the top of the fight. Now we're gonna see Big Beast and Jizune going in, but FF15 gonna channel that ultimate, as is Shen somewhere, I think, onto the mid lane to make sure he doesn't die. Jizune now hanging out in the middle of the fight, looking to do the damage with that passive. Meanwhile, Drox dies to the enemy jungler on the back line. Big Beast gets executed, and Jizune seemingly left with Cloud Turtle to try and find the fight, try and find the damage. But here comes Crisp, and the Silver Bolts take him down.
Yeah, and this is the problem. When they get too messy here, Jizune's in the death realm with the other tank. There's just not enough front line for Drox, and he goes down. Likewise, Jizune, when he comes out of the ultimate, gonna go down to the Vayne because everyone else is already dead. And I think they need to play a little bit more around Cloud Turtle in these fights. Give that opportunity, because Cloud Turtle has so much of their gold.
Yeah. It's hard. It is hard right now. Does have that, you know, is that rod fully stacked, or is it 20? I think it's 10.
It's 10, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Does have that rod
that's
fully stacked up. No,
Going to
certain-
buy another needlessly here. I kind of want to see a Zhonya's come through for Cloud Turtle at this point.
It lets you get those mimicking back in. Just okay. Probably gonna be able to get that recall off right
That was
there.
close. Yeah, a little spicy. I like it.
Yeah. I mean, if you're Cauliflower there, I'm not sure you win if you decide to take that. So maybe a good
Yeah.
call.
I mean, stopping the port is still pretty value, even if you have to run away after. The Vayne getting all this CS on the top side, though, really starting to balloon that advantage. Probably going for, ooh, careful, Drox! No!
Beauty of Pandas is able to find the Shuriken flip, which seals the fate of our Explorer friend. Cauliflower now available, though, as they are going to use the upcharge. We have a 15 looking to do that ultimate, but it's going to be
Cancel?
canceled by Big Beast.
He's
with
already
the
here.
Double taunt finds so much damage.
Oh, and now it's just Jizune. Cloud Turtle coming up from the base, but I don't think it's going to be enough. As
He's getting
Jizune gets the
keep
ultimate.
himself alive, but
Native
certainly
Panda's getting
will
low,
be
too.
hard once this ends. Skanda Duck not going to land, and Cloud Turtle will be left alone. Vayne is identifying the monsters and taking them down with the Silver Bolts.
Yep, that's hunting down every single member of Daddy's. And looks like no objective up on the map right now, but they are going to push these waves in. Maybe try to get a turret, probably just take the reset. They have a sizable gold advantage once again. Oh, Cloud Turtle
Cloud
going
Turtle.
absolutely crazy.
Ooh.
I don't know
close.
about all that.
I mean, it was close. I'll give it to him. Maybe he was looking for the ultimate. Does have hijack available.
Yeah, and this is going to give an opportunity, though, because Cloud Turtle is pretty strong. I really wish that they would just use that strength in these team fights instead of on some wacky thing, you know, flashing after people. But that opportunity, now that that strength is gone, is going to be to push in other places.
Okay.
Shen going for the top tower might be in some trouble.
Yeah, Cauliflower going to find quite a bit of damage here. Shen will be immune to autos inside of that realm, though. Shen finds the taunt, a couple of empowered autos, but Cauliflower manages to get it done. Shut down for the Graves.
Yeah, and that's another place that you're really not unhappy putting the gold on as Daddy's Darlings.
Yeah,
Graves
building
going to
that
be able to pick up a little
Bloodthirster.
bit extra. Yeah, and that's a big completion, honestly.
Getting a little bit of crit in there as well, as previously had completed the Eclipse and the Black Cleaver. So has that Armor Shred, has that percent HP damage, that burst, and is now going for the crit, which will help you scale maybe better into this late game, maybe help you get a lucky little kill on the Vayne.
Yeah, and honestly, I mean the team fights haven't been great, right? You're gonna look for more opportunities to get picks. Maybe just let Jizune be in a side lane, and Graves is one of those people that you really want to have damage in those situations because he's just able to burst.
Yeah. Okay. We found a little bit of damage there onto D&D Pandas. Here comes the Shen ult to keep him alive underneath turret. A good Q, though, means that he has to use his stopwatch, which he apparently has. Taunt, though, underneath the turret. Cauliflower going to take a ton of damage. It's able to eat out of there. Jizune looking to follow it up, but the Vayne is such a powerful, dissuasive tool from any kind of engage from Daddy's Darlings.
Yeah, honestly, though, if you're Daddy's Darlings, I think you're a little happy to see how that went. Shen ulti got burned. Kali and Lee Sin are both low. And, you might not have too many ultimates available yourself, but you still have Drox to hold the turret, and Vayne's going to have a hard time sieging in that spot. So you've effectively stalled the game,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And I think that is pretty important as we do see the next critical thing up. I mean, Baron is available, but I think this Dragon is more realistically we're going to see if this game is going to end here, or if it's going to be stalled a little bit further out into the late game.
Yeah, and I have this feeling that the later we go, the better it is for Ezreal. Vayne already at that late game point, absolutely terrifying. And, scaling-wise, I think maybe OO's in a better spot. But you still have an Ezreal in the game and Drox piloting it. There are a lot of opportunities here for Daddy's Darlings into the late game to win team fights.
Yeah.
So, especially with their good side lane matchups. So let's see, if they can win this dragon fight. They have some chances.
Yeah, still 2k gold up for Jizune. Hasn't gotten too many more kills, but okay, Google, not you. I swear the GOOGLE thinks any word other than that word is to activate it.
You know what was really funny? The Samsung phones have this Bixby assistant, right?
We're gonna see.
Jizune's dead.
Look for does find a good decimating smash, but not quite
It's
gonna be
so
enough.
dead. There's no way.
Yeah, no, my phone has Google and Bixby.
Yeah. So I was watching Star Trek Picard with they call the ex-Borg guys XBs, and it just kept hearing Bixby.
Lee Sin's gonna find his way into the pit, but the objective bounty will be picked up by Cauliflower. Dragon's Rage is going to be used, though. Going to start the fight off strong. Ezreal is going to get deleted by the God. Panda taunt up means the Cauliflower is going to fall. Big Beast going to look to get out of there, but you are not able to run in that chunky, heavy-diving suit, buddy.
Yeah, I think they have to win the fight there. It's really, really critical. They do stall the dragon, so it's probably not over yet. But, Cloud Turtle has a lot on his plate to defend against 5 here.
Yeah, does have death cap.
Respawn timers are not that long. Jizune will be up to defend the Nexus turrets.
Yep. Oni Chris, so strong here.
Yeah, I kind of like this call. They're going to back off. They get that inhibitor. They get the pressure that's going to come from it as these supers are going to spawn in the next wave. And that gives them some time. They're going to go back, go to Baron, pick this thing up while people are down. And then when people come back up after a reset, they're going to go in with the supers and try to end.
Yeah, for sure. Clean, methodical, just what you need to be here from the side of Uwu.
Yeah, and Drox does have the Mythic done. Still no Armor Pen, though, and I kind of dislike that decision. I think you actually want Armor Pen more than you want Kraken Slayer at this point.
I mean, Kraken Slayer is kind of Armor Pen, because it's just true damage.
Yeah, every third hit, it's sort of like that, yeah.
Yeah, ish.
I just think, I really think that in order to make the best use of that champion in these fights, they're gonna want that Ezreal Q poke to just kind of set them up, force the engage, force the hand of their opponents.
Sure.
The way things have been going, instead, they're going in with Nautilus ult, they're trying to force up on Vayne, and Vayne's just slippery, she just gets away. Ooh,
yeah.
Big Beast.
Maybe a little bit aggressively slippery as Big Beast is going to be the target here, and those are some strong autos.
Yeah, that was 3 hits?
Yeah, I think it was
Full
4.
build Vayne.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's a little bit of help from
Oh god!
from Daddy Pandas, but
I hate Vayne. Wobble Wobble going in does have The Revive available as well. Guardian Angel fully built. FF15 going in under the turret. Double kill going to be found. Cloud Turtle looking to get out, but Drock's going to be the last one alive, and Chris is going to be able to find that one nice and clean, and it looks like with a quadra kill, they are going to be finishing out this series in demanding fashion.
Yeah, it's just way too much at this point. That vein is absolutely massive. And, you know, a good try from Daddy's Darlings. I liked a lot of what they did to adapt in the draft, but a very, very strong performance from OO. And a convincing 2-0.
Absolutely positively.
Positively?
Positively, yeah.
We never did talk about the animals' names thing.
We never did talk about the... Okay, what animal names do y'all think are, like, the most common in League of Legends summoner names? Because just in the low-budget LCS, I think we've got a couple of turtles, right? Cloud Turtle, obviously. But isn't there also, what is it, GGG Turtle?
Yep, there's GGG Turtle. I think there's actually one more turtle on another team.
There's a lot of ducks.
There are like 5 ducks. There are a crazy amount of ducks.
There's a lot of ducks.
But we were talking about it, and the more we talked about it, there's some kittens, there's a zebra.
It's kitten 100%. Yeah. Okay, we're gonna exclude kitten. Okay.
What else is there? There was more stuff. We thought of more stuff. There's a parrot.
There's a couple of zebras.
Yeah, there's a parrot. Yeah. There's a sloth. There's a sloth.
There's a sloth. There's a couple of moose, I think.
Moose was a big one. Yeah, there's several
moose is big.
Mice. I don't know.
Yeah. A moose once bit my sister.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, really. She was carving her name into it with a outer space toothbrush.
Mm-hmm. I actually, when I was a kid, I had a dream that a nightmare actually, I guess, that I was attacked and bitten by a moose. And I believed that was how I got my birthmark. Like, which is so weird, but.
Do you want to do interviews?
I'm down if you want to, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Can you go ahead and at them in community?
Yeah. Panda was another one we had a bunch of.
Yes,
communities up here. Who are they? At interview.
I'm scold my cat.
It's gonna spell it weird with a W. I don't see anyone in community just yet.
Sometimes it takes them a minute.
Yeah, that's true. We do have the delay, and then also getting pinged on Discord is not an immediate turn your head and look kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Who do we want? Ooh, big question.
Who do we want?
Do we just take? Do we just take Chris?
Yeah, I mean, Chris. I mean, had an absolutely outstanding performance. Wait, no. Zelius
Did you see the wrong Chris in that?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll take. I mean, I'm down with anybody.
Whoever,
I think
right?
Chris or Wobble would be great. Wobble played incredible game 1 and a pretty solid game 2, so I'd take Wobble as well. You know? But anybody's fine. We got a burnt Jesus. Who's that?
Burnt Jesus.
I don't know if that's somebody from the team with just the wrong name. Probably not.
Oh, they might have name changed. This team had a couple of name changes. Hang on. Burnt Jesus is not one of them, as far as I can see.
It's Chris. Okay, they're saying it's Chris.
Wait.
All right. Well, do you want me to drag it? Are there more, or is it just Chris?
Chris to the Low Budget LCS broadcast. Mild shame for having your name incorrect in the Discord. Mild shame.
I'll apologize.
Yeah, true.
But
I didn't last that minute update a name change either.
He definitely did. Well, congratulations on the win. I have a burning question for you.
Sure.
Was the Vayne ever gonna go top?
No.
No, you
Alright,
wanted
I'm
it.
out. Have fun, Mighty.
Yeah. I wanted the Vayne pick. I thought that was gonna be a good pick. I suggested it after we first picked the Shen. I thought it would be a decent pick, and then when they picked the Silas, I was like, yeah, hold my ADC pick for last because I think they're gonna ban me out on the second rotation, which they did. And
Did you
they
do
weren't gonna
that?
ban Vayne.
Did you do that because of the submarine? Do you know about the submarine?
Yeah, no. I did it because I like playing Vayne into Silas, and I think that it's also good in the grave since he's so short range. So I saw those
Yeah.
picks, and then I kind of thought Vayne is good here. I think so,
Yeah,
and
no,
I wanted to
actually
try the
agree
new
with you.
build too. So
We talked about it a bit in draft. Speaking of draft, you had Kaisa in game 1. It was banned in game 2. You say you wanted the Vayne from the start, but was there ever like that thought that after a good Kaisa performance you wanted to repeat?
Yes and no. I also like playing Vayne into Kaisa as well, and I know that they're, from what I saw at least, their ADC likes to play Kaisa. I think so. We just left it up and we proud the Shen first pick, and just wanted to see what they would pick. It was kind of surprising that they went Ezreal, but yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah, I think one dynamic that they have is that their support likes to play engage a lot, and I don't know that I like Ezreal that much with most of the engage supports. There are definitely some lanes that are good. Ezreal Not is actually one that I've seen played quite a bit.
yeah. Um, I mean, it's a solid bot lane. I mean, they just kind of sit there, poke out, and then engage whenever their jungler comes to rotate. But we kind of played back and played a little safer. I just wanted to scale, so that's
Yeah,
what
absolutely.
we kind of played for.
Well, other questions. Let's think. Wobble Wobble. I just want to ask you about Wobble Wobble for a little bit. Is he a Gragas main?
I don't think so. I think he actually mains Lee. Wait, I honestly don't really know what he mains.
So what was
Because
the?
Wobble, it sounds
yeah,
like a Gragas name, you know?
It does sound like a Gragas name.
It
what
does.
Was the draft call for Wobble Wobble getting the Gragas in game 1 then?
I honestly don't really know. I think that it just seemed like a good pick, and I heard them call that they wanted the Gragas pick, but I don't really know why. I think it was just good disengage for what they had, since they had the Sedge, they had the Wukong, and the
We were
Nautilus.
We were speculating about the flex possibilities. Was that like a conversation you guys had, or were you sure that was a jungle pickup?
Flex with what with the
Like
Jax?
top or mid, yeah. Like I
Oh,
mean, I think at that point you guys hadn't picked anything but bot.
yeah, I think we picked that just straight up for jungle. I don't think that was for top or mid, honestly. I know that in the second rotation, our top lane wanted the Jax into what they had. And then when we saw the Oriana pick, we had Pandas just say ASOL's open because they banned him out pretty much with everything else that he plays. So he just picked up the ASOL, was just like, yeah, I'm doing a free scale, and then just win it from here.
Did we ask about the panda thing? Do you want to ask about the panda thing?
Like what is a god panda? What is the deity
Yeah,
of
like what
pandas?
does the deity of panda like entail?
Yeah.
You know?
What is the origin? Is it Kung Fu Panda or not Kung Fu Panda?
Not Kung Fu Panda. He's just the king of pandas.
All right.
Okay.
He's just
Well, there you
I
go.
think I like it.
I think that'll do it for us today on this Tuesday night edition of the Low Budget LCS. Mighty, why don't you take us out?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks everyone for watching. Thanks to the teams for playing, and later, dudes.